Okay, so now a group of you who are, followers of our page and friends of mine, I know I sent y'all a video of us unboxing the black-eyed Lucy, and basically this is kind of a follow-up to that, and honestly an explanation for the people who don't get to see that vid, because I even mentioned in the vid that I was half asleep because I had just woken up. The delivery guy who delivered her, him knocking on the door is honestly what woke me up. So I failed to do something with the unboxing vid, and that was scratch off, my address and all that off the box. And there's, been people combing YouTube on videos of reptile guys like me, scanning, looking through the vids, finding addresses, and actually stealing people's reptiles to resell for their own profit. And I'll be damned, basically, if that's going to happen to me. Because this isn't just a business for me. This is an absolute passion that's been with me since I was 7 years old. So, no, this is so this will be a follow-up and an explanation and all that. For those who didn't get to see the new girl, this will be her showcase. She's sitting on the table in her little quarantine tank that we have yet to finish and all that. Looking gorgeous as ever. And for those of you who don't know already, this girl that I have with me is our big normal female, Garuga. Garuga I had to include in the vid too, because we came home from work to find that she had freshly shed. And assuming the phone camera is picking up just how beautiful she is, she's happy to finally have that shed off. Her colors are showing. She's glorious. She's got nothing but energy right now, and so I have no doubts she'll happily take food on the next feeding day. Because I was kind of concerned the last time she didn't, but at the same time I got it. She was, blind as a bat from shedding. Alright, so once again, for those who didn't get to see the last vid, we ordered this from, find a thing that doesn't have our info on it, Wilbanks captive bred reptiles. They're based out in Oklahoma. This was the first time I'd ever ordered from them. That's why I wanted to do an unboxing, definitely. And just to show, they did their job. There was soft material in here to keep her insulated and all that from the bouncing around on the rod. Words come to me. Little heat pack to keep her warm the whole way, and yeah, even through the snake bag that she was in the box, she was very nice and warm. The snake bag, I don't know what we did with that, but it's okay. Gave us a little lanyard, and I thought this was cool. Thank you from Mike Wilbanks thing to their YouTube channel, Growing Up Wilbanks. And they even included a link thingy, little flyer, whatever, to this website where you can get anything you could need for shipping out your own reptiles and all that and the other. So they know they're going to be selling to other breeders, and I love that they were considerate about that. Now, to showcase the new girl. Now, she did very well on the unboxing. She was absolutely sweet. She was nervous for obvious reasons. A trip like that is stressful on them. Now, whenever I was putting that water dish in here, she did pop at my finger. And for those of you who are like, yeah, of course, it's a snake. It's going to bite you. Whatever. It was my fault. I mean, she saw my hand coming in. She didn't know what was going down. She's a nervous wreck right now. And when you're dealing with a snake, for a little info and all that, when you're dealing with a snake that's going to be a little bit bitey, you know it's going to be bitey, it's on edge. If we can get the light on right now, she's actually showing perfect behavior for what I'm talking about. Watch her tongue. You'll notice her tongue is very quick in its flicks. Like it's just going in and out really fast. That right there is, show y'all some body language. That's a snake that's nervous. It doesn't know what's going on. It's a little panicky. That's body language letting you know, yeah, sure, you could take a bite right now. Could being the operative word. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. And I'm just going to tell y'all, when she got my finger earlier, I barely felt it. I mean, I more felt the force of it than anything. She did not break skin even. Because she's little and she got little needle teeth. Now, she's watching me for obvious reasons. It's okay, little one. Honestly, a lot of the time, you get them out of the tank and they realize that they're being held, calms right down, especially for the ones that have experience with being handled. Now, if she bites me on the vid, that'll make it a lot more interesting for one. I'm hoping she does not. All right, now I'm going to pass Garuga off on your neck for this. 1 second, viewers. All right, there we go. There we go. Now notice I'm trying to keep my motions slow. I'm not trying to scare her because, you know, when you're dealing with babies like this, they're going to be a little head shy. Which only makes sense. Their head is very fragile compared to the rest of their body. I mean, it's the most fragile part. I'm also trying to keep her face aimed a little away from mine. I don't necessarily have to be behind her, and this is honestly just extra precaution. More for the sake of education on this vid. It's okay, baby. Now, she had the perfect opportunity right there. She could have bit that finger, but she did not. She knows she's being held. She's just getting used to it. Once again, I'm keeping my motions slow. I'm not trying to manipulate her too much. I'm letting her do her own thing. And the fact that she's moving around a little bit of her own accord is a good thing. Because most of the time, if they want to bite you, make you go away, oh, it's like handling a rock. They'll be totally still except for their head. For obvious reasons. All right, there we go. And as mentioned in the vid earlier, I know our camera is not going to really pick up the redness of her eyes, but this is what's known as a black-eyed Lucy. But I know most of our viewers don't know much about the different morphs and looks of ball pythons or other snakes, but Lucy is short for leucistic, which translates to this solid white. And a lot of the time, you'll hear about blue-eyed Lucies. Much more common. There'll be a solid white snake with like sky blue eyes. Very pretty, don't get me wrong. We actually do have a male and female whose genes can align and make some of those too. So keep them tuned on the future for that. This, however, is a black-eyed Lucy. You notice the eyes were black. You could see that much at least. But with that camera, I swear, is failing to show. The pupils are like blood red. It makes for a very otherworldly looking noodle. Like, to me, it looks like some spirit out of a Japanese story. Now, it's okay. It's okay, little one. Yeah. You gotta keep in mind, on these trips, they're going by plane. They're going by FedEx truck. They're getting passed around in the different FedEx stations. There's a lot of vibrations. And they can't see in those boxes, obviously. It's going to stress them out. Here, I'll take her back. All right. So naturally, especially for a baby like this, they're going to be a little on edge. But no, this is our new black-eyed Lucy, our new addition to Legacy of Caw. And this was a bucket list item, definitely. I've wanted one of these since I was in middle school. I think I discovered them first when I was in like 7th grade. I've wanted one of these forever, finally got one. and one day we shall be producing more. For those of you who are looking at this snake and instead of recoiling in fear, are looking at this thing with wonder and absolute just intrigue. They are beautiful animals. They're not hostile, they're not evil. Most of the time they're just lazy. And ever since my 7th birthday, when I got my first ball python by the name of Ka, that's where we're getting the name. Ever since then, I've absolutely always wanted a life surrounded by these guys. So thank you guys for coming along so far on the beginning of our journey.